Good day. My name is Loco George William. Welcome to Financial Management. Today we'll be looking at the introduction to financial management. Key concepts and skills for the outcomes are that after this course, you should be able to know the basic types of financial management decisions and the role of the financial manager, as well as know the financial implications of the different forms of business organizations, know the goal of financial management, and also understand the conflicts of interest that arise between owners and managers. Chapter outline. We're looking at finance, business finance, and the financial manager, the forms of business organizations, the goal of financial management, the agency problem, and control of the corporation, as well as financial markets and the corporation. The basic areas of finance we'll be looking at are corporate finance, investments, financial institutions. Now to investments. These are the financial assets such as stocks and bonds. The value of financial assets, risk versus return, and asset allocation. With investments, the job opportunities that are there includes stock broker or a financial advisor, a portfolio manager, or even a security analyst. Now to the financial institutions. These are companies that specialize in financial matters. For example, banks, that is the commercial and investment, credit unions, savings and loans, insurance companies, brokerage firms. The job opportunities are limitless with the financial institutions. International trade. This is an area of specialization within each of the areas we have discussed so far. It may allow you to work in other countries or at least travel on a regular basis. You need to be familiar with exchange rates as well as political risk. You need to understand the customers of other countries. Speaking a foreign language frequently is also helpful. Why study finance? Study finance because of marketing. Budgets that are prepared by the marketers needs a financial input, marketing research, as well as marketing financial products. Accounting, dual accounting and the finance function, that's the preparation of the financial statement. You need a financial background to be able to understand and prepare the financial statements. Management also needs finance to be able to have a strategic thinking, job performance, as well as profitability. Also, personal finance. Personally, you need to be able to know how to do your own budgeting, your retirement plan, your college planning, and your day-to-day cash flow issues. Business finance. Some important questions that are answered using business finance. What long-term investments should the firm take on? As an organization, you should always be thinking of the long-term investments that you want to take on. Where will the long-term financing to pay for the investments? Where will you be getting the long-term financing to pay for all these investments? Also, who will manage the everyday financial activities of the firm? Now to the financial manager. The financial manager tries to answer some or all of these questions. The top financial manager within a firm is usually known as the CFO, that is the Chief Financial Officer. He's the treasurer because he oversees cash management, credit management, capital expenditures, and financial planning. He is also the controller because he oversees taxes, cost accounting, financial accounting, and data processing. Now to financial management decisions. The first is capital budgeting. What long-term investments or projects should the business take on? What capital structure should we use for our assets? Should we use debt or equity? And now the working capital. This is the amount of money that is used to run the day-to-day activities of the firm. Forms of business organization. There are three major forms of business organization. These are the sole proprietorship, partnership, and corporations. So sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is a one-man business. Normally, it's a business that one man organizes and controls. Some advantages of the sole proprietorship is that it is the easiest to start. You normally do not need much regulations to be able to start. As long as you have a product and a little capital, you are good to go. It is the least regulated. It is a single owner keeps all profits type of business. And also it is taxed once as personal income. Some disadvantages are that it is limited to the life of the owner. Once the owner dies, the business also dies. Equity capital limited to the owner's personal wealth. All the finances comes normally from the owner. It has unlimited liability, meaning if there are extra costs incurred, the owner will bear it, even though it is that of the business. It is difficult to sell the ownership interest. Now to partnership. A partnership is an agreement between 2 to 20 people who come together to start a business. Some advantages include you have 2 or more owners. Capital is readily available and it is relatively easy to start. Income is also taxed once as personal income. Some disadvantages include unlimited liability. Partnership dissolves when one partner dies or wishes to sell. That is, when one of the partner decides to sell his stake in the business, the partnership dies. It is difficult to transfer ownership as well. Now to corporation. Corporations are large organizations that are owned by many people through the sale of shares. Advantages include it has limited liability. That is, anytime there is a loss, you only lose your stake in the business. It has unlimited life because it has the going concern, which says that the organization is going to be operating into the foreseeable future. Also, there is separation of ownership and management. That is, one group of owners own the organization, whilst another group manage the organization. Transfer of ownership is easy and it is easier to raise capital. Some disadvantages include separation of ownership and management. That's the agency problem. The agency problem exists because in most of the cases, one group of people who are the shareholders of the organization own the organization, whilst another group of people, that is management, manage the activities of the firm. And as rational human beings, we are always likely to seek our interest first. And that means that the managers of the organization sometimes seek their interest, which in the long run affects the owners of the organization. There is double taxation. This is because the organization gets taxed at the corporate rate, and then also when they pay out dividends, the dividends are also taxed at the personal rate. This means that corporations are more likely to be paying tax more than once. Also, dividends which are paid, which are not tax deductible, at the end of the day gets taxed on the personal level. Thank you very much, and we'll continue another time. Okay, any questions? Okay, in the absence of any question, it's been nice having you in the class. We'll meet again, same time next week. Have a good evening. Goodbye to you all.